22. Another amazing UFO story breaks loose on the wire today. And as usual, I've gotten plenty of emails, text messages saying, did you hear about blah, 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 blah? Well, of course I heard about it. It's my job. God, I hate doing this show without coffee. Welcome, everyone, to UFOnaut Light on a beautiful, hot, sizzling Thursday, August 5th, 2010, as we will delve tonight outside the Matrix as we do, an hour of your life to put aside the things that don't really mean anything, turn off the TV, put the cell phone on vibrate. I've been working my tail off today on a project I am so excited about to tell you that you are all going to want to flock to Portland to see this when it launches. That's how confident I feel about this. One of the most interesting and exciting projects I've ever worked on in my entire life. More on that later. UFOnaut Radio, what do we do here? Of course, we exist to explore, report new happenings within ufology, exopolitics, paranormal, and new science. If it's strange, if it's weird, if it's outside the box, we bring it to you every week. How many days a week now? Oh, my God, we're branching out. We've got Tuesdays. We've got Thursdays, UFOnaut Light, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got Saturday at the mothership, KPAN 860 AM on the dial. And now we've got Sundays, believe it or not, KPAN 860. They wanted more, we gave it to them. It's actually a replay. It's on Sundays. Exciting. We're branching out. We're getting big. 20 different countries, thanks to all of you. Now, some really interesting things going on. Of course, just to throw in there, Major Dames, of course, nowhere to be found. Did not respond to my letter that I was cordial with, of course. I will say that at this point, I don't really have a lot of respect for the gentleman for not following through on what he said he would do and not having the respect to get back to me and to provide me with the report that I had requested for the city of Portland to try to get to the bottom of this matter. This boy, Kyron Horman, is still MIA. He is missing. As far as I know, the police are still clueless to where he is. And this investigation, to my knowledge, is starting to fall into the fourth, fifth story on the news, which tells you plenty. So, take that for what you will. I will stay involved in this project because, like I said, I am not going to let Mr. Dames come into Multnomah County, into Portland, drudge up a bunch of press for his new book or whatever other bunk that he's selling, and then run out of Dodge and make up some cockamamie story about private land being the reason he can't come here to help solve a murder when he actually believes he knows where the child is located exactly. Makes no sense to me. I hope you feel the same. Next, enough said about that. We have a brand new website. How exciting. Just launched. I'm really excited about it. It's the same URL. It's real simple. You don't have to go anywhere different. UFOnaut Radio, www.ufonaut.com. We made it easier. We made it classier. We made it simple. We've made it easier to respond to my crazy weekly rants that I like to write for you now. I want your opinions. I want your feedback. You can donate there. There will be some cool stuff to buy eventually, some New Guard items so you can show off that you're a member of the New Guard and be proud, as you should be, and all kinds of cool stuff. Of course, the schedule and this guest for this Saturday, which is going to be a really interesting show about the chemtrail issue, which, if you're not familiar with, I wasn't until this past week. It's serious stuff. Of course, everyone thinks that the BP oil spill is just gone. Wow, I guess that one's done, right? Where did all the oil go? Don't know, but it's gone. We don't see it, so I guess we can move on now. Well, we know better, don't we? And thank God we know better. One of the reasons we know better on this show is because we have Miss Sandy Fleming in Los Angeles, our news correspondent, coming at you in about 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Miss Sandy Fleming, always a pleasure to have you on the program. How are you tonight?
Oh, Jesse, I'm a bit giddy. When you see the word UFO hit the front main page of BBC, Huffington Post, Fox, and CBS, you feel like you won a point for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an exciting day in that respect, especially when you brought it to my attention. A bunch of other people during the day were texting me things. I had my hands full of cables and cords for this top secret project I'm working on that you know about. But let's break this entire case down, this story that hit the wire. You know all about it. Tell this audience the significance and start from square one on what happened.
Okay. Basically, the Ministry of Defense in the United Kingdom has disclosed 18 new documents, and they've handed these over to the National Archives, which went public today. You can find every single one of these documents. There's 18 documents, 5,000 pages worth of data. If you go to nationalarchives.gov.uk and then do a search for UFO, you will find these, and I'll put a link up on my Facebook as well. But the big story, this is the document that is what's causing all major media to be reporting on this. One of the documents is a correspondence between a gentleman and the Ministry of Defense. This gentleman claimed that his father was Churchill's bodyguard and was at a meeting with Churchill and Eisenhower, and I don't have a date for that, but I know that the document was sent to Ministry of Defense in 1999. This gentleman says that his grandfather, there was a UFO event, and Churchill had requested Eisenhower meet with him to discuss this UFO event. During this meeting, Churchill said, quote, in regards to the event, quote, "This event should be immediately classified since it would create mass panic amongst the general population and destroy one's belief in the church," unquote. He also goes on to, Churchill also went on to say that the truth about UFOs should be kept secret for at least 50 years.
Now, the piece to this story that I heard is that the actual incident that they were referring to, this craft, this flying saucer, whatever you want to call it, UFO I like to call it, actually abducted and took possession of an aircraft of ours, or of the United Kingdom's. Is this part of what you read?
I didn't read that part, Jesse. That wasn't covered in any of the major media articles. I have a link to the actual the file from National Archives, which I haven't read through yet because it's several hundred pages. So I don't know. Tell me what do you know about this?
Well, I guess maybe I was reading something different. Maybe I was reading something different. In fact, maybe I was. And I'm looking at the article now, and it looks as though I might have mixed it up with something else. But it's just as interesting. I guess the point is what's coming to my mind. Yeah, it was a different case. The point that's coming to my mind, this is not the first time that Britain has released a whole bunch of files. We know that because Nick Pope, of course, who worked for MOD, has been on the program. Now, when Nick has been on the program, very nice guy, but very non-committal, okay? In fact, I asked him if he would work for the MOD again, and he said he would. So I found that to be kind of strange, too. Why are they being forthcoming? Why are they slipping out this memo? I guess that's the million-dollar question. What are your thoughts about it, Sandy?
There's so much happening right now, Jesse. I just don't know. I mean, this, like you said, this isn't new. They've done these releases. In fact, they did a big release of a bunch of documents in February as well. I can't even speculate. I mean, I guess it's a diversion maybe, or there is disclosure. I mean, I'm hoping that real disclosure is upon us. But when you look at some of these, when I look at like Fox News and BBC, kind of what they wrote in regards to this, they do kind of debunk it at the end of it. You know, in the BBC article, they say they talk about how during the time that the X-Files television program was popular, that UFO sightings were up. At the end of the Fox News article, it says most of these sightings turned out to be misidentifications of things like aircraft, lights, or meteors, but a small proportion could not be explained. So it's like we're getting a little teaser, but there's, you know,
dangling of the carrot. It's
the
carrot. It's that dangle carrot. Let's give you something, and let's keep in mind, though, what is this article doing? It's going out, like you said, to the mainstream. Mainstream's looking at this, and they're reading it. So Joe Public sees this cross his brain. It's almost subliminal, even though it's not, but it's going to have a subconscious impact, right? Now, from what I can tell, all the files released from the MOD in the past, this has been ongoing for over a year now, I believe. None of them have really taught us very much. It's mostly, you know, there was a black triangle flying over a woman's house in Leeds, or something happened in Manchester that was interesting, and that sort of thing. This is significant, although it's difficult to confirm. Okay, I mean, if you're going to have a problem with the MJ-12 documents and their validity, this one's going to be pretty tough too. So there is a hearsay element to this, because there's some gentleman who claims that his grandfather?
Yes.
Yeah, that
his grandfather was Churchill's bodyguard.
Okay, so I mean, at the end of the day, it becomes somewhat of a hearsay type incident. But that's not even the point, though. The point is that Joe Public is going to read this, and in one ear he's going to go, wow, you know, that's totally bizarre. Maybe there is some merit to that. Again, what they've done is, and I get so angry about this, it's 2010. Why are we talking about Winston Churchill and Dwight Eisenhower? Okay, there's been tons of stuff going on with flying saucers this year. There's tons of stuff going on right now. Now, I get that it's interesting. I get that it's important. I guess my question is that, does this just go right smack into another brick wall? Does this go right into what we're talking about last week in my rant section this week on the website, which is the ufology catch-22? We've got tons of proof. We got tons of witnesses. We got tons of quality messenger whistleblowers. You want generals? We've got them. We've got astronauts? We've got them. You want guys who've been on the moon? We've got them. You want scientists? Got them. Physicists? Got them. Computer scientists? Got them. Psychics? We got those too. Even the lousy ones like dames. But the point being is that we don't have a forum. We have no forum to present these facts in a serious way, so that Katie Couric or one of these boopy dots will come on and make a story like this, and just like you said, at the end of it go, wow, that's weird. I guess Venus is looking brighter these days, Brian. Now what's going on at the zoo this week? You know, so that's where it gets frustrating. Do you think that this actual memo being released is going to have some sort of impact, or do you think that this is something that has nothing really related to UFOs as far as why it was released, Sandy?
Well, these documents, and you know, the thing that kind of sucks about these documents is they don't say much. It's all correspondences. So what we're looking at is all it is people writing into the MOD and saying, I this, or what do you know about, you know, what was this incident about, trying to get information. And it almost makes you feel like this is part of continuing the cover-up, that they're going to go, oh, look, everybody's getting really riled up and curious about UFOs right now. We need to debunk it. Let's release some real classified documents that show nothing. So that is the back of my head right now, that is the purpose of this, because